I was invited to go help out with some stuff at my friend's grandparents' ranch. We were using the side-by-side to tow trailers around, and after we finished up the chores for the day, his grandma's worker told us that we could drive around for a little bit. I've been the driver like twice. The second time is the reason I was in the hospital.
What started out as a day of chores and fun at a friend's family ranch almost turned deadly for then 14-year-old Jesse Hancock. The young man got behind the wheel of a side-by-side, no seatbelt, no helmet, and practically no experience driving. He lost control of the vehicle and slammed into a tree.
I was told two different things. I was told I swerved to not hit a rock and we hit the tree, and I was also told I hit the gas instead of the brakes. So I'm not sure. It probably was both. I was barely conscious. All I remember was getting loaded up onto the helicopter.
The mom came over and knocked on the door and said that she had bad news.
For Jesse's mom, Callie, the nightmare was just beginning, and she had no idea how bad the situation was.
Nobody gave me any details other than that there was an accident and that he was being care flighted, so I didn't know what to expect when I got there.
He came in and he was in real rough shape. He was very bloody. His eyes were swollen shut. He was not making any sense. He was really combative. He was very confused based on his injury, and there was blood everywhere.
Jorge Montano was a pediatric critical nurse at the time. He was one of the first to treat Jesse and the one tasked with telling his parents about his injuries.
I would say it's the hardest part of the job. You see the fear in their eyes. You understand the helplessness that they're going through. To have that conversation where I can't assure her child's going to be okay because we don't know that moment.
Jesse suffered several severe injuries, including a fractured skull and a traumatic brain injury. He was in intensive care for nearly 2 weeks. He made it, but too many others who are careless with off-highway vehicles like ATVs and side-by-sides aren't so lucky.
Kids are getting severely injured and dying on side-by-sides or OHVs in general. Local data here at Renown Health, that was our third leading mechanism of injury, and all traumas that we saw was associated with an OHV.
OHVs are a way of life for so many in northern Nevada, from farm or ranch work to recreating as a family. Safety proponents aren't trying to stop people from using them. They just want parents and kids to think first and take the proper safety measures before riding in one.
We just want to make sure that the kiddos out here are riding safe and they're riding smart. There's been some horrible accidents, kids just simply getting killed, all for the reason that they don't have hard safety gear on their head. They're having traumatic brain injuries, and a lot of times, they just don't fully recover from that, and that's terrible, and it's sad, and it's preventable.
I was a paramedic for a long time, worked at Renown in the ER for a number of years, and pediatric traumas will break your heart. They happen way more than people understand. Oftentimes, it's just not something that people want to talk about. It's uncomfortable. It makes people really sad and uncomfortable, so we tend to want to steer away from it. Just the culture on the whole, and making sure that as a community we're taking care of each other and moving forward, putting safety first. It's the most important thing.
If you have friends, buddy, that don't have a helmet, tell them to come to me. I'll get them a helmet.
At Sand Mountain, just east of Fallon, tragedy has struck several times with children losing their lives. As you can see, they still come here in droves to ride, which makes it a great opportunity to educate and inform a safer way to do it.
All we're trying to do is to help you keep your kids safe and educate you so you can make the best decision. Be aware of what's out there, educate, and provide your kids with the resources, such as helmets.
Parents, set an example. Try to set a good example. I know that helmets can be hot, they can be awkward, they can be cumbersome, but they can also save your life, or they can definitely save you from a traumatic brain injury.
It's just a message. You just got to keep pushing it and pushing it,
Chris Oliver is a father and expert OHV driver. He comes to Sand Mountain all the time, promoting his Kicksand activewear as well as OHV safety. It's scenes like this that make him happy, and scenes like this that make him cringe.
It's the parents' responsibility, you know, to inform the kids and make sure that they're out there being safe. You make sure they're strapped in, make sure they get a good helmet on, you know, that's important. These are our little ones. They're priceless. You can't replace them.
As for Jesse and his mom, every day is now considered priceless, especially knowing what they almost lost and how far he's come.
I think about it and I look at the way things have changed and the progress and the things that we've been through. But I'm grateful that things didn't go the other way, and it could have so easily been way worse than what it was.
Now that he was given a second chance, Jesse and his mom want to do what they can to protect other kids.
If you want to go ride, put a helmet on.
It doesn't matter how simple or how short or brief the ride is, they need to have the proper gear. Even if it's just riding around the yard, doing yard work, or going on a trail ride, or going out hunting, or whatever it is, you need to make sure you have the proper gear.
An important message: Think First and Renown are pushing hard to try and keep other tragedies on OHVs from happening.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see their kid in that situation.